Hi all. So today we are going to learn a new strategy to find the transfer function of a system. Okay, that is the signal flow graph. We have already learned the block diagram reduction technique to find the transfer function of a system. So the signal flow graph is another technique, very simple technique compared to the block diagram reduction to find the transfer function. So the signal flow graph is used to represent the control system graphically. Okay, we are going to represent the system graphically. Okay, and this system is developed by S.J. Mason. And signal flow graph, it is a diagram that represents a set of simultaneous linear algebraic equations. Okay, and the advantage over the block diagram reduction technique is that the overall gain of the system can be computed easily. Okay, that is when compared to our block diagram reduction technique, the signal flow graph method is very simpler. Okay, very simple method to find the transfer function. Okay, so here it consists of a network in which nodes are connected by directed branches. Okay, so a signal flow graph consists of a network, okay, in which nodes are connected by directed branches, and each node represents a system variable, and each branch connected between two nodes. Okay, each branch connected between two nodes acts as a multiplier, signal multiplier. Okay, that is when the signal pass through a branch, it gets multiplied by the gain of the branch, that we can see here. Okay, suppose this x1 is a variable here. Okay, this is a node, and this is a branch. Here it is x2, and the direction is like that, and in the branch it is given that it is a1. Okay, suppose a1. So the x2 will be equal to a1 into x1. Okay, so this variable is get multiplied with the gain a1. So x2 will be equal to a1 into x1. Okay, so like that, and each branch has a gain. This is the gain, or we can call it as a transmittance. Okay, this is normally called as gain or transmittance. Okay, so in a signal flow graph, the signal flows in only one direction. Okay, the direction of signal flow is indicated by an arrow placed on the branch, and the gain is indicated along the branch. This is the gain. Okay, so that's about the signal flow graph, and here there are some examples you can see. That is, here it is the variable x1, here it is x2, so x2 equal to a into x1, and here you can see that this a1. Okay, these both the signals are combining at the point x3. So x3 denotes the addition of these two values, that is a1 into x1 plus a2 into x2. Okay, and another one is if a figure is shows like that, that is x1 is to x3, and a is the gain here and b is the gain here, so we can simply reduce it as x1 x3, and the gain is ab. Okay, a into b, because these two are seriously connected. Okay, if these are parallelly connected, we can say that x1, in between x1 and x2, we can combine these signals as a plus b. Okay, the gain can be combined, that is can be added together. Okay, that is a plus b. In the before condition, it was connected series linear, so it is ab. So here it is parallel, so a plus b. Okay, and here also you can see that x4. Okay, at x4 it is ac, and it is bc. Okay, ac plus bc will give x1 into ac plus x2 into bc will give x4. Okay, so these are some examples. Okay, and in this case we don't need to actually reduce the signal flow graph. These are some methods for reducing the signal flow graph, but there are another method. Okay, another easiest method in signal flow graph to find the transfer function, that is using the Mason's gain formula. We will discuss later. Okay, and here you can see a feedback loop. Okay, that is as you have seen in the block diagram reduction. Here also you can see the feedback loops, and this is the forward gain b, and this is the feedback gain c. and we know that the feedback loop can be replaced by equation, that is we have already learned that for a negative feedback loop the equation is g by 1 plus gh, and for a positive feedback loop it is g by 1 minus gh. Okay, like that here. So here the feedback gain is c. Okay, that is it is a positive feedback. Okay, there is no negative sign can be seen here, so it is a positive feedback. So the equation will be b by 1 minus bc, b by 1 minus bc, you can see here. Okay, so if there is a negative sign here, okay, if there is a negative sign in c, that is minus c means it is given to the negative terminal, that is negative feedback we are giving. So this equation becomes b by 1 plus bc. Okay, b by 1 plus bc will be that. Okay, so for a positive feedback you can see only the value here. For a negative feedback you can see a negative sign here. Okay, so that's about the thing here. And this is an example of a signal flow graph. Okay, you can see, you can observe the directions of the signal. Okay, this is the input and this is the output here. Okay, this is the R of S, and this maybe normally this is represented C of S. Okay, output is represented C of S, output response, and these are some loops, that is feedback loops. Okay, and next the Mason's gain formula, that is the simplest method to find the transfer function without reducing the signal flow graph. Using this equation we can find the transfer function of the system. Okay, so the Mason's gain formula is used to determine the transfer function of the system from the signal flow graph, and R of S is the input and the C of S is the output. The transfer function T of S equal to C of S by R of S, that we know. And the Mason's, according to Mason's gain formula, the overall gain, okay, overall gain T is equal to 1 by delta sigma k pk delta k. Okay, so using this equation we can find the overall gain, that is the transfer function of the system can be found using this equation, 1 by delta sigma k pk delta k. Okay, sometimes it is asked for a 5-mark question, that is explain the Mason's gain formula and explain each and every term in that formula. Okay, so we have to explain each and every term here. So here the k means the number of forward paths. Okay, k means the number of forward paths in the signal flow graph. Okay, forward path means that is here in this figure, from starting from the node 1 up to the node 8. Okay, by observing the direction of the signal. Okay, by observing the direction of the signal in this figure there are two forward paths, that is one path is this this R of S, from this R of S. Okay, this get multiplied with the gain 1, and again get multiplied with the G1, so G1, G2, G3, G4, G5, 1 up to it. So this is a forward path. Okay, and another forward path is 1, then G6. Okay, listen carefully, G6, then G4, G5, 1. So this is the another forward path. Okay, so two forward paths will be there. So k will be the number of forward paths. Okay, and here the pk will be the forward path gain of kth forward path. Okay, forward path gain of kth forward path. Okay, that is if you are considering the first forward path, it is the forward path gain of first forward path. That is the here we are assuming that this is the first forward path. Okay, so forward path gain means we have to multiply each and every gain together. Okay, so the gain of this branch is 1 and gain of this branch is G1. So for finding the forward path gain we have to multiply all the values together. So 1 into G1 into G2 into G3 into G4 into G5 into 1. So we will get as G1, G2, G3, G4, 5. G5 will be the forward path gain. And here in this case, for this forward path, this is we are considering it as a second forward path. So the gain will be 1 into G6 into G4 into G5 into 1. So G6, G4, G5 will be the forward path gain. Okay, that is this pk. Okay, and this t is the transfer function, that is C of S by R of S. And delta here, delta means it is an equation, that is 1 minus sum of individual loop gains. Individual loop gain means, that is here you can see loop means the feedback loop. Okay, only we consider the feedback loop only. Okay, so here you can see 3 feedback loops are there. Okay, first loop is this one, we are taking this is the first loop, that is G2 into minus H1. So minus G2 H1 is the first loop. Okay, and the next loop is we are considering it as G2 G3 minus H2. So minus G2 G3 H2 will be the gain of this loop. The another one is G5 minus H3, that is minus G5 H3 will be the loop gain of this this feedback loop. Okay, so the equation is 1 minus sum of individual loop gains. Okay, you have to add all the loop gains here plus sum of gain products of all possible combinations of two non-touching loops. Okay, two non-touching loops, that is we have to find the two non-touching loops in the figure, and we have to find the sum of gain products of these two non-touching loops. Okay, that is a sum of gain product of the two non-touching loops. So here in this figure, this loop, okay, this first loop and this third loop, these are the non-touching loops. That is, non-touching means there is we can't find any node, okay, any node common to these two node to these two loops. Okay, so here node means these things. Okay, this round circle is the nodes. Okay, for being the two loops are non-touching, it should not contain a common node, should not contain a common node. Okay, so here this loop and this loop are touching loops because this branch and these nodes are common for this. Okay, but this loop and this loop are non-touching, and again this one and this one is non-touching. Okay, because we can't find any nodes or branches common for these two loops. Okay, so sum of gain product of all possible combinations of two non-touching loops minus sum of gain product of all possible combination of three non-touching loops if exist. Okay, so that's the condition here, delta. And delta k means delta for that part of the graph which is not touching kth forward path. That is, if you are going to find delta 1, then we have to find the delta for the path which is not included the first forward path. Okay, that is, we have to find the delta for the first forward path. Okay, that I will explain in the coming videos, that is while we are doing the problems. Okay, so that's about the basic equation and H times. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Thank you.